Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga and welcome to your quick hip-focused practice. We're going to get started right away. If you'd like 2 blocks, feel free to grab that into your practice. If not, they're not necessarily needed. We're going to step our right foot forward, drop the back left leg and the back knee towards the mat, coming into a nice low lunge. Hands can start low. Or again, if you have those blocks, maybe the hands to the blocks. And just give yourself a couple moments just to start here. Maybe that means wiggling out the hips side to side. Maybe that means straightening the leg and then rebending here. Find whatever feels good to start out. Just take a couple breaths when you land where it feels appropriate for you. And again, knowing that it's early, you don't have to go to your deepest depths by any means. So just take a deep inhale wherever you are. Massive exhale. We'll stay here for about 5 more rounds of breath. So again, nothing too intense, nothing too deep quite yet. We're just touching in and lengthening that back left hip flexor, touching a little bit into this right outer hip as well. Breathe in. Last 3. Beautiful. When you're ready, take a big inhale. Stay there as you exhale. If you have the blocks, just slowly set them off to the side. Just come into a tabletop position and shift back to a nice child's pose. Get long through the spine. Get long through the sides of the body as you reach the hands forward. Take a couple rounds of breath. Only when you're ready, come up to that tabletop position again. We'll step the left foot forward. And again, if you want to adjust, if you did have the blocks, find the blocks. Otherwise, the hands will just stay low. Again, you could wiggle around, find some space in your body today. Just kind of get started. Again, it's going to be fairly quick. So just take a couple rounds of breath. Let's say 5 rounds here. Feeling that space through that back right hip flexor on this side. So opposite side gets a nice little touch. And you just breathe here. Beautiful. Last couple. If you're with me, go ahead and take one more huge inhale. Get long, maybe through the spine. Stay there as you let that breath go. Again, if you have blocks, set them off to the side. Just come back to a tabletop position. Shift back to child's pose. Just stay here, a breath in. Massive breath out. Once you're ready, shift forward to a nice tabletop again. We're going to come into what I call fire hydrant. So I'll start on my left leg here. Let's lift that left knee up towards about midway, maybe in line with your hip, maybe not. Flex through those left toes. We're opening out towards that left side. We're pressing through the hands. We're engaging. We're lengthening, but we're also strengthening this left hip if you started out with me. Take a huge breath in, engage through the core, press the floor away, and then exhale. Just start to lower that knee to a hover. We're going to lift it back up as you inhale. And then we're going to exhale to lower. A couple like that. Inhale to open. Exhale to lower. We're just working again, strengthening that hip. Lower it back down. Inhale, open. Exhale. I'm already feeling this in mine. Inhale to open. Exhale to lower. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale it back down. Tabletop. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle side to side. We'll just switch that out. So if you're with me, left knee stays glued, right knee lifts up towards the sky, flex through the right toes, press the floor away. Big breath in. Big breath out. You might start to feel it shake. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, just start to lower that knee to a hover. Inhale, we open it out. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale to open. Find a few more rounds at your own pace. Let's say 5 more. Pressing that floor away again. Core stays engaged. Hips starting to turn on. Last 2. Open it out. Close it back and shift back to child's pose as you breathe it out. Huge inhale. Deep exhale. If you're with me, come up tabletop position, tuck the toes, lift the hips, come into that first downward facing dog, and give yourself any movement that feels appropriate. Maybe bending the knees, maybe shaking the head. You could come onto the tippy toes. Just find your downward facing dog. First one today. Notice the fingers that they spread wide as you press down into your mat. Just take a couple moments. Few rounds of breath here. Beautiful. If you're with me, go ahead and find a little bit of stillness in your dog. Right leg's going to lift up on the inhale. Let's bend the knee, open the hip. Just stay here for 3. For 2. Last one. On the inhale, right toes reach back up. On the exhale, set it down. Let's switch that out. Left leg rises. Bend the knee, open the hip, maybe circle, maybe roll the ankle. Stay for 3. For 2. Last one. Inhale, toes up. Exhale, set it back down. Press the chest back on an inhale. And then slowly step to the top of the mat you go. Find a halfway lift, hands to shins, lots of length through the crown of the head, core sucks up and in. On the exhale, just fold back in. Beautiful. 2 more like that. Hands to shins, lengthen up. Exhale, dive it back in. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, just fold. On your next breath in, let's stand up, root to rise, reach it up tall. Let's catch that left wrist. As you do, step that left foot behind. Find a nice little length through that left side body. Stay for 3. For 2. Inhale, reach back up to center. Step that left foot in. Catch that right wrist as you do. Step that right foot behind. Find a nice little bit of length through that right side. Those ribs, find some space. Yes. Stay here. Beautiful. Find that last bit of reach. Inhale, reach it back up to center. Step it full, forward, full. Dive it out. Half glance as you inhale. Let's plant the hand, step back to a plank, and right away lower down slow all the way to your belly. Unravel the toes. Let's lift the chest, lift the heart. Exhale, make your way back to a downward facing dog, however that looks. Table, plank, lifting those hips. You decide. On your next breath in, right leg's going to rise up, reach it. On the breath out, step it forward, staying on the ball of the back toes. Let's come into what we call crescent lunge. Inhale massively. Stay here for 3. Beautiful. For 2. We're going to add a little bit of a touch here. So for the lower body, let's start to bend that back left leg, start to lower that knee, start to bring it to a hover, and then zip it back up, lift it up, inhale. Lower, 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 maybe tap. Lift it back up. One more like that. Lower, lower, lower. Lift it back up. Massive breath. Plant the hands down. Step it back. Find a vinyasa. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Left side, sweep it up. Step it forward. Ball of the back toes. Once you're ready, rise up to that crescent lunge. Stay here for 3. Just check in on this side. Left toes forward, right toes forward, hips forward towards the front of your mat. Check into your breath. Beautiful. If you're with me, place a bend through that back right leg. Start to lower that right knee. Hover, hover. Lift it back up. Yes. And then again, 2 more. Lower and lift. Lower down. Massive inhale to lift you back up. Plant the hands, step it back, find a vinyasa. Inhale, heart shines. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, I told you it's quick. So we'll get a couple rounds like that. Right leg's gonna lift up, inhale. Step it forward. Inhale for that crescent lunge. Right away, lower to a hover. Zip it back up. Lower down. Inhale to lift. One more. Lower back down. Inhale for crescent. Plant the hands down. Find your vinyasa. Heart lifts. Downward facing dog, yes. Left side, sweep it. Step it through. Inhale to rise. Lower that back knee. Zip it up. Inhale. Oop, that's the exhale. Lift it up on the inhale. Lower back down. Lift it back up. Hands to the earth. Find your vinyasa. Heart lifts. Downward facing dog. Breath out. Stay here for an inhale. Stay here for an exhale. We're going to get another round, but we're going to add a little bit. Right leg lifts up on the breath in. Step it forward. Inhale for that crescent. Bend the back knee. Hover. Lift it up. Lower and lift. One more. Lift it up. Stay here in this crescent lunge. One more massive breath in. Reach up. And then warrior two. Back foot tiles all the way flat with that back of your mat. And that front heel dissects that back middle arch. Stay here, arms wide. Hips now open. Breath is steady. You might be sweating already too. Check in, breathe. From here, let's keep the legs as they are. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. Find a little space again through that right side body. Beautiful. If you're with me, keep that reach a little bit more. Right elbow, right knee, top arm all the way towards the front of your space, and you find a nice extended side angle. Still keeping that bend in that front right knee, getting into that right hip. Check in. Now we have a big transition coming from here. So from this extended side angle, we're going to come to Skandasana. Look at those back left toes. Kick that heel in just a little bit. Start to bend through that back knee and start to straighten that front right leg as you come into that Skandasana. Keep breathing. In and out of that nose. Yes, I can. Find your Skandasana. Lots of length through that back right leg, right thigh. Take a breath in. Breath out. If not already, hands down to the earth. We're going to crawl forward to a low lunge, just like before. Drop that back knee. Arms are going to reach up on the inhale. Stay here for 3. Notice my back toes stayed tucked underneath. I haven't dropped them down. Keep it that way if you can, or come back to meet us there. Beautiful. On the inhale, reach it up a little taller. On the exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Let's keep lift the back knee. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into a standing split. So hands about a foot in front. If you had the blocks, you could use the blocks. Toes are reaching. Breath is staying steady. Beautiful. And I want you to notice that left leg. Did you start to roll that left hip open? If you did, I want you to square that hip down, almost as if we're in this kind of warrior 3 variation with the hands low. So that hip is square now. Take a breath in. We're going to tap and touch that left foot or left toes to the back of that right foot. Tap and touch towards that Achilles, and then lift it back up on the inhale. Tap and touch again, lengthening through that right leg, right hip. Inhale to reach up. Lower that back down, tap and touch. That's the last one. Just lift back up, standing split. And then exhale, forward fold, dive in. Halfway up. Find a fold and then bend the knees. Come into a chair pose. Just one today. Take a breath in. Just one on each side, that is. Beautiful. From here, it really is our last little thing. So when you're ready, squat a little lower into your chair. And then stand up onto the left foot, hand to the heart, knee comes into the chest. And I want you to remember those fire hydrants. So our knee is bent and it's in front of us right now. But I want you to open or start to open that leg, that right leg towards the right side. So start to open it out, keeping the bend. And we're going to send it all the way back, keeping the bend. Once you get there, you square the hip down, coming into that warrior 3, and you just breathe. Yes, working that hip today. Take a breath in. Massive breath out. We're going to bend the bottom knee. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. That left leg is forward, arms reaching up. Hands down to the earth. Step it back. Lower down. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Yes. Take a huge breath. Stay there, breath out. Let's get that all on the other side. So left side lifts up. Step it forward to crescent lunge, just like before. Arms rise. Bend that back knee. Tap and touch. Lift it up. 2 more. Lower down. Lift it. Exhale to lower. Massive inhale. Stay here. Crescent lunge again. Here's where we add on a handful of different shapes, right? Take a breath in. Reach it. Back foot dials flat. Open up to that warrior 2 on your second side. Check in. Lower body strong. Upper body light. Maybe that sweat starting to drift down if not already. Last couple moments, we're going to keep the legs as they are. Flip that left palm. Let's reverse that warrior. Little side stretch. Couple breaths. Beautiful. One more full reach as you inhale. That left elbow comes to that left knee. And if you need to bring that back foot in, you can. Top arm reaches all the way forward. Oh, this should feel good along that right side. Keep the breath with you. Yes. Yes, I can. I only have a few more shapes left on this side. A big transition coming to you. Pay attention to that right foot. Kick the right heel in a little bit. Start to bend through that right knee. As you do, straighten that front left leg. Hips drop low. Hands maybe to your heart. Hands maybe to the earth. You decide. Maybe you have that block. Take a couple moments, just lengthening through that back left leg. Strong and steady. Yes. Here I am. Again, we only have a few more shapes on this side, so take your last 2 rounds of breath here in this Skandasana. Ha. If you're with me, length through the crown of the head. Hands down to the mat. We're going to crawl forward, pivot the ball of the back toes, drop the back right knee, find a low lunge. Couple moments, couple breaths. Again, if you have your blocks and you know you're going to use them, set them up where you need. Take a breath in. Maybe the arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, hands down, tuck the back toes if not already, zip the back knee up. We're coming into a standing split. Toes are going to reach up and you're going to fold in again, either with or without those blocks. You decide. Few rounds like this, I want you to pay attention though. If you started to roll that right hip open, let's start to square it down. It's probably going to go a little lower than it was with it open. That's okay. Hands either on the blocks or down low, breathing in. Again, we're going to find that length through that left hip this time. So the back right toes, you're going to slowly start to lower the right toes to meet that back of that left foot. Tap and touch. Zip it back up. Again, lower back down, squaring those hips. Yes, feel the control on that left side. Zip it back up. Last one, tap and touch. Yes, I can. Inhale, toes back up. Exhale, find a nice forward fold. Dive it in. When you're ready, bend the knees, chair pose. Last one, I promise. Take a couple rounds of breath. Let's say 3. Beautiful. Squat a little lower for 2. And 1. Stand up into the right leg this time. Left knee comes into the chest, hands to the heart space. And again, just like that fire hydrant, we're going to send that left leg, left knee stays bent, out towards that left side. So slow as you need. Keep the left toes flexed. Open it out, open it out. As you do, start to square the hip as it lengthens back into a warrior 3. Hands at the heart, breathe in. Beautiful. Lots of length through that back left leg. Lots of strength through that bottom right leg. If you fall, that's okay. Take a breath in. Bend the bottom knee. Let's come to that crescent lunge. Massive breath. Hands down to the mat. Step it back. Lower down slow. Inhale, heart shines. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Right leg rises. Step that knee and that shin through. Drop them down. Send the left leg back. We're coming to one of the most familiar hip openers in yoga, pigeon pose. Lengthen up through the crown of the head if not already. Fold into your degree. And we're not here super long, so just stay and fold and breathe. Checking into that outer right glute, right hip. If you ever need to make any adjustments, you're more than welcome. Come back to the breath. Maybe even sending your breath to that right hip here. That might allow you to find a little more depth, even though we're not here super long. Let's say 5 more rounds of breath. Deep, deep breaths. One last full inhale. Let it go. Slowly climb the upper body up. Tuck the back left toes. Let's just step back to a downward facing dog just for transition. When you're ready, left side lifts up. Bring the knee and the shin through. Send that right leg back. Get long, unravel those back toes. Lengthen up through the crown of the head, spine tall. Fold into your degree. Just bowing over that front left leg. Breathing into that front left hip. Letting the shoulders be soft, letting the head be heavy. Good, not here extremely long, so breathe into this shape. Last 5. Beautiful. If you're with me, take a big inhale. Deep exhale. Slowly plant the hands down under the shoulders, tuck the back toes, step back to a downward facing dog. Last one of the class, press the chest back. Set the knees down and just come on to your back. Last little thing, hug the knees into the chest. And we'll just end with a nice supine twist, arms wide to a T. Let's drop the knees up and over towards the right to start out. Take a few rounds of breath. Find that last bit of twist. Lift the knees to center and just switch sides, dropping them over towards the left when you're ready. Arms stay wide, breath stays with you. When you're ready, coming back to center, giving yourself one last big squeeze into a nice little ball. And then if you have the time, extend those legs out, arms stay out wide, and you just slip into your Shavasana. I will leave you with the class there. Stay in Shavasana as long as you can. Thank you for showing up and sharing your energy. Namaste.